It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talk Flicks podcast. I'm your host, Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. And ladies and gentlemen, this past week, you know where I went. You know where I was at. I was at the magnificent town city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the one and only Dwight Manfredi to see the adventures of Dwight Manfredi and crew in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in Tulsa King. Let me get into that first couple things. I want to give a big shout out to La Paz, Bolivia. Got some plays from La Paz this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Torba, and La Paz. Your land, the nature in that space is absolutely breathtaking. One of these days, we have to fly down there and just experience the lovely nature that you guys have and the food, cuisine, and everything else. So thanks for listening, guys. Gratitude. And additionally, this episode is brought to you by the album called The OODA Loop by yours truly, the Captain Cortez. It's me rapping in my unique style with motivational, inspirational vibes, lyrics over sci-fi melodic type beats. I guarantee you've heard anything like it in your life. So if you want to hear the album called The OODA Loop by yours truly, the Captain Cortez, up and below, check it out. Now, let's get on the podcast. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get into Tulsa King, but first a couple updates. As you may have seen in their social media, recently the EIF family had went and saw Beauty and the Beast, the play. I went to the theater along with the crew and we saw Beauty and the Beast. Let me tell you this, I generally don't watch musicals and I generally don't watch them in person, but the opportunity was there and we went, and let me just say this, it was absolutely magnificent. Now, while I don't really review musicals on the podcast, I'm going to make an exception and I'm going to go ahead and review this musical as a bonus episode probably this week. Yeah, we're going to do that because it was magical. And also additionally, as you may have seen on social media also, there is going to be an update to my secret covert ship theory. If you've been with this podcast for a long time, I'm talking about a very long time, then you've probably heard the episodes where I talked about the secret covert ship. Well, I have some additional theories or ideas on that. Let me get into that. It's a bonus episode this week as well. I might do a combination bonus of the secret covert ship and Beauty and the Beast. We'll see how it goes. But that's later in the week. Let's get into what we're talking about right now. And right now, we're going to talk about Tulsa King, Dwight Manfredi. Now, after all these seasons of Tulsa King, I have came to the conclusion that this show is basically just about a disruptor. Now, there's gangster stuff and there's violence, there's crime and all this other crap. But basically, essentially, this show is just about a disruptor and disruption. Manfredi, like I've said before, comes from New York, enters Tulsa King, and disrupts everything. Everything. He disrupts everything. He's even disrupted other states. He's coming through and he's disrupted all types of stuff. Now, in this week's episode, we saw more disruption. People are still getting mad. They're getting madder. So what happens is basically it's a little bit tit for tat. Dwight makes a move, the adversaries make a move. And Dwight won't back down and don't quit. He keeps going. He's going to keep disrupting. He will not stop. It really comes down to who's going to give up and stop first, or who can outmaneuver. And Dwight Manfredi, fittingly called the general, is able to call shots and move in ways to move further up the level or a game board or insert himself deeper into the Tulsa and Oklahoma in general structure, system, group, or whatever you want to call it. But he is making all types of moves and people are getting mad. So that's what they get into this week, and something happens to basically disrupt Dwight Manfredi's movement, actions, so they're not the greatest. And just spoiler, he just says, okay, this happened, and we just gonna dust ourselves off and try again, to quote Aaliyah, right? Dwight does not give up. In fact, in this moment, when Dwight took the L towards the end of the show, he was just kind of chill, relaxed, okay, happened, let's move on, let's go forward. Kind of remind me of, Jocko or something. You just say, okay, happened, let's move forward. Or that whole mentality of Jocko and David Goggins, and that whole mentality. Like, I try to live by that as well. But we're talking about like that kind of attitude. He's like, okay, whatever, we can push forward. So anyways, yeah, that's happening. Now, what I want to do additionally is I want to dive a little deeper into the whole concept of disruption that we're seeing throughout this show. Now, generally what happens is in a space, place we've gotten to before, where people are thriving and doing well, And we're talking financially, we're talking status, title, or whatever we're talking about. Wherever someone is getting abundance or doing well in a certain space, whatever that looks like, whatever the payment is, or whatever we're talking about. And someone comes in and they start taking stuff and take it from you, or it's perceived to be that. Now, in some mindsets, there's enough for everybody. Now, some people that I like to believe that as well. But in some spaces, it's not quite like that. I guess in the business space, there's real things like market share where you can take market share, and so that maybe doesn't apply there. But in this space, Man Freddy's coming through. He's been doing the last 3 seasons or 4 seasons, whatever season we're in. And he's just been wrecking things and taking things and, taking spaces, places used to be other people's spaces. And people are getting madder. He's moving up the ranks, moving up the levels. And as he moves up the ranks and levels, it seems they say more levels, more devils, right? Because there's more adversaries, more people get mad, more people see him rise and jealous, mad, anger, or whatever. And there's just more he's dealing with. Like right now, Man Freddy is probably dealing more we've seen since he's entered Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's a lot of people that want a lot of piece of what's going on. Now, when you rise and succeed like he's doing, that'll happen, especially when you rattle a lot of other human beings, right? If you get into a space where someone's dominating, you start taking from that space, yeah, people get mad. You take food or resources from them and they will be angry. And we see this in the show, the last whatever season. It's kind of like if you were in school, and I'll be honest, I felt this when I was young, because I was dumb or not very knowledgeable. But you see the new kid come to your school and he makes way more progress socially in whatever way than you ever did. And you've been there for years. Like girls are noticing, they never notice you, he's cool, you're not cool, whatever. It's kind of like that. It's like that if you ever experienced it at school. You probably have experienced, or maybe you haven't. I don't know. I did experience that. I thought the way at one more time. I don't now. But it's kind of like that. Man, Freddy comes in and he's like, man, he's doing all this. And I've been here and I'm not doing any of that. And now he's taking it from me. I've been here for 70 years, or my whole family been here for generations. Now you take it from me. Because I think Admire or whatever the guy's name is, the Terminator dude, says that I've been here for years, been here for generations, and now you take it from me, and everybody's getting mad straight up. And you see their pressure and stress from dealing with that. Now, if you're going to be the disruptor and you start disrupting certain groups, organizations, people, this kind of might take place, or it will take place most likely. You see it in society, in different aspects and realms all the time. And you can go on YouTube, social media, and you see what's going on globally, and you see certain individuals are doing what Man Freddy does on a global scale, and they get a lot of heat for it from all different groups and organizations. It's a tough place to play. So just notice, if you're going to be a really huge disruptor, there's going to be a lot of pushback coming at you for that. So just know it's not the place for the weak-minded or weak-bodied or weak individuals at all. You have to be powerful and strong to push through it. And you can just look at social media and see these guys that go through and see what they go through on a regular basis. And we're seeing Man Freddy rise. And even Man Freddy's trying to be a little invisible, and he still can't deflect that because he's getting rich, getting money. If you want pieces of it, they want to shut him down, just craziness. So just know this, the status quo setup of whatever you talk about. It doesn't matter what organization, what sphere of belief. It doesn't even matter. Science, economics, any kind of structure, organization that is in place. And if you're going to challenge the popular narrative or popular belief system or do something different than what's already been done, or where people are thriving and making a lot of money, or whatever off of, there will be some pushback, right? If you introduce something new. Now, some will recognize that it's inevitable and we're going to jump on board. There's just some things that happen that are just inevitable, to quote what the guy from Avengers, I'm inevitable, whatever that dude is, Thanos. It's just some technologies, some things that you just cannot stop, right? The AI might be one of these things. I feel it probably is. The AI is not stopping. They want to put the genie back in. It's probably not. So you can either get on board with it, or you can just try to fight it, but it's probably impossible battle. And there's just certain aspects like that when something comes to disrupt. It could be a person, or it could be a thing or an item that's going to do that. And so just know, if you are a person doing that with ideas, or you create something, there possibly could, or most likely will be blowback, like you see Man Freddy get. So, I love this show because it just came to me this week, basically, we've just been watching Disruption, the Disruptor, the whole time it's been on the air. It's all he's doing. Like I said, it's in the play guise of, the gangster world, right? And there's certain elements that go along with it, but this can be done in any place you're talking about. It can be a business, religion, it doesn't even matter what, it can be in any area of ideas you can think of. But we get to see it in the gangster world here, and we see the pressure that comes with it. Now, in this particular episode, you can see that Man Freddy is feeling it, because Man Freddy get hit from everywhere. Now, I've not experienced on that kind of level, but I have been in a place for a period of time where I did feel like I was getting from all angles in my life, the way I lived it. And I thought I was getting heat like on many different battlefronts or whether it was spaces, places, just getting hit from all angles. I have felt that, not to the level he's feeling it, but I have felt that it is not a comfortable place to be. It's really not. I mean, you have to be built a certain way to deal with it. And if you do feel that and it's tough, it's just gonna make you have to, like, bro, I have to step this up because it can be extremely, extremely stressful, straight up. So anyways, Man Freddy seems like he's built for it. I mean, he's been in the game for a long time, but it also does kind of feed into what I talked about before, about like Man Freddy versus Tyson's dad. Tyson's dad lived a life and he just kind of quit that for the the family life, with a nice job being a plumber, and there's less pressure that comes with that. He lives a good life, right? And it's like, so what do you want? If you want to be the boss, you got to pay the cost, as they say, right? And there's a lot of stress headed to come with it. And is it worth it? Is it worth that grind, that battle to achieve those things and get those things at the cost of the stress it's going to cause you or whatever else it costs you, versus just chilling, relaxing, living life, right? It's totally up to you to do this. Like, just know though, when you see this show, this is kind of showing you a huge disruptor. This is possible for you in whatever realm you're in. So anyways, this show, like I said, every week is absolutely magnificent. And also, what additional thing too, Sylvester Stallone dropped some wisdom gems in there. Just watch, you'll see him talk a little bit of wisdom, old man wisdom. Phenomenal show. I love Sylvester Stallone. So way back in the day, Rocky, First Blood, phenomenal actor. Dope dude, loves boxing, cool dude. Show is magnificent. I will keep watching this. I highly recommend it. If you've not seen Tulsa King, just go check it out. Really good. Go visit Tulsa. Get to see the beautiful city of Tulsa. Tulsa is gorgeous. One of my vacation bucket lists now is to go and visit Tulsa because it's absolutely magnificent. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining. And until next time, we'll see. Good nonsense is good sense in disguise. Josh Billings. Until next time, Captain.
The Captain Talks.